take a short break, and then we're going to come back, talk about some more concerts, and we're going to have a health tip. It's actually entitled homocysteine. It's the health tip of the week. Of course, Dr. Reich will be here giving out that health tip. And right now, you're listening to Music is Therapy on 90.3 WHBC, the voice of Nassau Community College. For more information on today's program, give us a call at 516-572-7439. You can send us an email as well at whpc@ncc.edu. You can visit my website if you'd like to see some of the shows specifically on music therapy, and that's musictherapyradio.com. By the way, that's the #1 show in the country on music therapy that's being broadcasted. musictherapyradio.com. We're doing well. And right now, let's go to the health tip of the day. Now, on Music is Therapy is our health tip of the day. Some of the information comes from outside sources as well as personal opinions from our guests and the host of this show. Let us now begin. And we're here with Dr. David Reich, the concert chiropractor, and today's health tip is homocysteine. Take it away, doctor.
Well, most people, if I mention the word homocysteine, they say, what? They never heard of it. But we do know about cholesterol. And cholesterol has gotten a bad rap over the years by many health authorities. Let's understand that cholesterol is a very important part of the human body. It's important for the cell membrane. It makes it more fluid and helps it adjust to changes in temperature. It's important for hormone production, particularly stress and hormones. It's used by the liver to form bile. The cholesterol actually insulates the nerve cells. And we need cholesterol and sunlight in order to make vitamin D. Now, homocysteine is an amino acid which, when elevated in the blood, can create a condition for plaque to build up. Normal levels of homocysteine are usually between 4 and 15 micromoles per liter. Any measurement above 15 is considered high. Optimal homocysteine levels are between 10 and 12. Moderate increase is between 15 and 30 micromoles. Intermediate is between 30 and 100, and severe is usually greater than 100. Now, what does homocysteine do? Homocysteine promotes the growth of smooth muscles just below the inner surface of the arteries. If these cells multiply too rapidly due to elevated homocysteine, they can cause bumps along the inner wall of the blood vessels, making its normally smooth surface more like sandpaper as opposed to something smooth. The smooth surface allows cholesterol and other materials typically used in the formation of plaque to glide over easily and not form and not occlude the blood vessels. However, a rough surface allows the plaque to adhere, thereby clogging the arteries. In Seattle, researchers injected baboons with high levels of homocysteine and found that after 1 week, 23% of the arterial wall was lost. There was a direct relationship between the amount of homocysteine injected and the amount of arterial compromise. Homocysteine is formed when you eat foods high in an amino acid called methionine, which is present in all animal and vegetable protein. The digestive process breaks methionine into homocysteine. Homocysteine is then converted to two harmless amino acids. One of them is back to methylthionine, and as well as cystathionine, which is under the influence, and it does this under the influence of certain helper nutrients, which happen to be vitamins. These helper nutrients include vitamin B6, vitamin B12, as well as folic acid. These nutrients tend to be low in the standard American diet, and in order to significantly lower homocysteine levels, supplementation is necessary. Understand, we're looking to lower homocysteine levels so that we don't cause these bumps on the inner linings of our blood vessel. I recommend a minimum of 800 micrograms of folic acid, 2,000 micrograms of vitamin B12, and 100 milligrams of vitamin B6. That's usually contained in a good quality B-complex vitamin. And that's one way to help keep your homocysteine levels down.
Okay, so lowering the homocysteine is better from what I'm hearing because it keeps the walls, the walls of the arteries smooth as opposed to like sandpaper.
Yeah.
And in order to control that, or at least one of the ways naturally would be to take a folic acid. 800 milligrams. You're talking about B12. I, by the way, like methyl. I like
folic acid.
I like the methyl B12 because it's more absorbable. Because B12 is a very large molecule. It's hard to absorb that stuff, and some people just can't. And B6, 100 milligrams.
100 milligrams of B6 and 2,000 micrograms.
Micrograms,
of B12,
right? A smaller
B12.
amount on the B12 and the folic acid.
And
I think. Metformin is probably the best form of that. I think I studied that a while back.
Metformin sounds like a diabetes,
doesn't it?
like a diabetic medication. Metformin.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
In clinical practice, I see such a high percentage of my patients taking metformin. Such a high percentage. Metformin is
I know for the diabetes.
For the A1C
was there
levels.
any problem with that medication that hit the market?
As with
as a problem?
nothing which has gotten, I guess, too much publicity yet. Mm-hmm. But like anything, it's going to somewhere along the line. People are going to find that long-term use of it is going to create some problems which they didn't pick up on. But I don't know. That's just my prediction because that's what happens to all drugs. It seems to happen to every drug. That they don't, in the beginning, they spend millions and millions of dollars looking for any problems to occur. But you really can't tell if someone's been taking a particular drug for 10 or 12 years, certain things happen. But anyway, you're always better off trying to go natural. That's
absolutely. Natural is always better because everything else has a side effect. What am I listening to here? I think Michael Anthony in the sound room has got something going on. Let's give it a listen.
I do not recognize this song. This Olivia Newton-John?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you.
Heart attack.
Poor Olivia Newton-John. No.
It was one of her later hits in the 80s.
Yeah. This is the second one she's had. Not the first one. Yeah. Young lady.
Well, we want to prevent the heart attack, and I think you have to keep that homocysteine down low. I think that's the point we're trying to make here.
Yes, that's it.
You see, a lot of times in this during the show called "Music is Therapy," there's a connection between the music and the subjects.
I always think this is probably one of the most fun shows on the station too. You can see Mike laughing at us.
So anyway, we're talking about free concerts in your area, and do you have a few left on the?
We have a few more left.
Okay,
of course we have a few more.
Let's see what's
left.
Coming up in our area.
You like the Beach Boys?
Who
doesn't like the Beach Boys? There's a group called Endless Summer. They're going to be performing on June 27th at the East Quogue Village Green, located in East Quogue. Sponsored by I like saying East Quogue Civic Association. Here's the good one over here. This one, I have not seen them perform. I believe they've been around for a couple of years. The name of the group is called Breakdown, and it's a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers tribute band. They're going to be performing on June 28th, which is a Wednesday, at 7 o'clock at the Common Ground at Rotary Park in Sayreville. And that looks like fun. Here's a group which I've seen around for quite some time. Their names, the Como Brothers. They're not related to the governor, I don't think. That's a Cuomo. These are Como Brothers. They're going to be performing on Wednesday, June 28th at one of my favorite locations, the Jones Beach Bandshell Field 4. That's a Wednesday evening at 7:30.
You think it's going to be run differently this year? There's somebody new in charge down there at Jones Beach.
I think there is, and I really don't know. I haven't gotten any information. The way it looks to me, it's just a different type of bands coming in, so I'm wondering if it's the same management or different. I really don't know.
Okay.
Here's one more thing I've seen pop up already, at least 5 or 6 times on my list. The Plaza Theatrical presents Madagascar, which was a show on Broadway. They're putting it on, and they're putting a number of different locations. I've seen 4 or 5 times this year, but on the 29th of June, it's a Thursday at 6 o'clock, they're going to be putting on this play in Forest Park, not at the George Subert Bandshell, but in the Sobelson Playground. That's in Forest Park somewhere. I don't even know where. Okay, do you want me to keep on talking?
Let's do one or two more. What dates are we up to in the day?
We're up to June 29th.
June 29th.
Okay, also on June 29th was the second time I've mentioned this group.
That's a
the
Thursday.
Hoodoo Lounge is playing the Mardi Gras jazz kind of music. Mm-hmm. They're going to be at the Westbury Village Piazza, located on the corner of Post and Myrtle Avenue.
Okay.
And we could mention another one, the Swing Time Big Band. They're going to be performing June 30th. You know, when I hear the date June 30th, it always reminds me of my childhood, because we always ended school on June 30th.
That's right.
If June 30th was a Monday, we were there on a Monday getting our report cards, because that's when they gave out the report cards. It wasn't, now they end school. First week of June is they stop teaching, and they got this, they got finals, they got this, and they're out of school the middle of June, essentially. They don't know from June 30th, that great day, which we all look for. But anyway, back on June...
I'm laughing because these are the memories that I have as well. Mm-hmm. Where things were certain ways, and it's just funny to hear you say that. Go ahead.
The Swing Time Big Band, they've been around for years. They're playing in a number of venues. They're going to be playing on Friday night, June 30th, at the Eisenhower Park Lakeside Theater in East Meadow, and that starts at 8 o'clock.
And that's a great venue.
Yes.
Very open. I don't know how many thousands of people that they
I don't
can
know how they
accommodate.
got the goose poop off of there, because they don't have goose poop on there anymore. For years, it was inundated with stuff.
Yeah.
But...
well, when you're accommodating 10 or 20,000 people sitting out in the audience, you want to keep things clean.
They also have good fireworks too. They put on very good concerts. We'll be talking about them throughout the course of the year.
I hope Joe gets that gig again this year. Joe Ferraro.
I hope so too.
That would be nice.
I'd like to get him back on the show. He's always fun.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we have about a minute or so. We can just talk about things. And anyway, the concert list is free. That's why we do the show, Dr. Reich's concert list. And if you'd like to receive the concert list, I don't have it in front of me, but I know it's DRD, which is Dr. David.
DRD, REICH at AOL.com.
Okay.
I mean, I get a lot of nice emails coming to me, people saying that they really look forward to receiving my concert list, because now they have all the information and they plan out their week according to what I have on my list. And during the summertime, if you are like I am, we have no kids at home anymore, we go out at night, we'll pack a picnic lunch, a picnic dinner, go out to a concert. We'll do that 2-3 times a week. Life becomes fun. It really becomes fun.
And I have to be honest with you. I mean, I get a lot of, you have your own little inner circle, a group of friends.
We call them The Loop.
The Loop. I want to thank you for putting me on The Loop. But this year's been a little tough to but I'm going to try to make as many concerts as I can. We'll get together and break some bread, so to speak.
Yes.
Like we in past shows, we talked about what to bring, what's the best time to set. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
again.
we got a lot of shows coming up.
There's a lot of shows coming up, and I guess that's it. Listen, I want to thank you for the new year, 2017, with Dr. David Reich's concert newsletter. And of course, he's a practicing chiropractic. Congratulations, by the way. You're moving on in life, as we all are, to the next plateau.
Yes.
Hopefully enjoying your life as we move forward.
I've been talking to patients that I'm going to be reducing my hours from 50 to 55 hours of practice to part-time 30 to 35.
Nice.
Yes.
Good for you.
Part-time work. I'm on vacation.
I'm telling you. God bless.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show. And thanks, everybody, for listening to Music is Therapy. Contact us here if you want to hear anything about the show or want to know more about Music is Therapy. Email at us at whpc@ncc.edu. You can visit my website at musictherapyradio.com. My name is Larry Carlson. My producer, our producer, is Mr. Michael Anthony in the sound room. And remember, do what you love, and you'll love what you're doing. Go see some concerts. See you soon. God bless.
Frank Sinatra.
Bing Crosby.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Dean Martin.
Hey guys, what are you doing?
We're making a list of artists you don't hear on the radio anymore.
Wait, I know where you can hear all of them and more.
Where?
Right here on